Good morning, students. Today's lecture is for MA final year students. The play is Hayavadana by a famous Indian playwright Girish, Karnad. Now, the play is divided into two acts, as you know, and it has two plots also, one main plot and a parallel running subplot. The main characters of the play, let me introduce you briefly. They are Devdatta, Kapila, Bhagavata, Padmini. There are two dolls also, and of course Hayavadana, who symbolizes horse's head and human body. Hay means horse, Vadana means the body. Now in this, the play begins with the prayer to Lord Ganesha. Quote, O single dust, destroyer of incompleteness, we pay our homage to you and start our play. And the play starts with the narrator as Bhagavata, who starts to narrate the story. But on the stage we come across a strange creature that is none other than Hayavadana, who is having a horse's head and a human body, and of course a human voice. Now he is very much worried that he is saying that I am incomplete, I need to be complete, either I become a complete horse or I become a complete man. Now Bhagavata says that your problem can be solved if you go to Goddess Kali and pray to Goddess Kali to make you complete. As Hayavadana himself says that he suffers from the identity crisis. He doesn't know which community he actually belongs to. Now Bhagavata says, okay, we now narrate the main story, the main plot of the play. That is the short story of three people. One is Devdatta, who is very skilled in writing poetry. He's an intellectual person, we can say. And then we come to Kapila, who is unrivaled in physical strength, who is having a very muscular body and is son of an iron smith. And then they both are very good friends. So the story starts in the city of Dharmapura, and where the king Dharmshila ruled, and these two are the heroes of the play. And the heroine is Padmini, who is unrivaled in beauty and charms. So what happens when Devdatta sees the Padmini for the first time? He decides to marry her because she is unrivaled in beauty. As in a quote Kapila says, when Kapila meets Devdatta, he says, yes, my dear friend, you are very, very true. I have never seen such a beautiful lady in my whole life. Quote, I give up, Devdatta. I surrender to your judgment. I had not thought anyone could be more beautiful than the wrench Ragini who acts as Rambha in our village troupe. But this one, you are right. She is Yakshini, Shakuntala, Indumati, Urvashi, all rolled into one. Page 16 it is, unquote. Now Kapila helps Devdatta so that Devdatta can marry Padmini. Now the marriage ceremony is complete. Padmini became the better half of Devdatta and they settled in his house, and the old friendship flourished as before. Now three of them are like Ram, Sita and Lakshman, Devdatta, Padmini and Kapila. Now here we are introduced to the theme of the play at the very outset, which is that why should love stick to the sap of a single body? Okay, why should it be tied down to the relationship of a single par? Which shows the Padmini's ideology as well as the ideology that is reflected by the author of the play, which is that love has no bounds and it cannot be limited to any one man. Okay, and now in this way, both Kapila is also fascinated towards Padmini. Devdatta loves Padmini. Padmini is attracted towards Kapila's muscular body. Now, another prominent incident that I would like to bring to light is where Kapila, Devdatta or Padmini drive on a cart to Ujjain, to the city of Ujjain, to visit a fair, where what happens, Padmini very explicitly shows off that she is attracted towards Kapila's muscular body. When she asks for a fortunate lady's flower, what happens? Kapila climbs on and brings that flower, where she says, it is in the quote, you see, how he climbs like an ape. Before I could even say yes, he had taken off his shirt, pulled his dhoti up and swinging up the branch, and what an ethereal shape. She also adds on, no woman could resist him. Page number 26. Here it is mentioned. Listening to this, Devdatta becomes very much, jealous and feels frustrated. What happens then when the cart is stopped? He says, I had to visit to the temple of Kali, and he goes there, and in a fit of frustration he shoves off visit in the temple of Kali, leaving the Kapila to Padmini. When Kapila goes there in the temple of Kali and he sees that Devdatta has shoved off his head, he does the same. Now both are lying dead in the goddess Kali temple. Padmini after some time reaches there and it takes not much time for her to understand why both of them have died. They have died for her. Now she asks goddess Kali that, okay, I am also going to shove off my head. Where will I go now when both of them are dead? Goddess Kali appears there and she says that, okay, I will grant you a wish if you put their heads on their body and they will be alive. There is a little bit of darkness there, or what is the reason maybe, but she puts off the wrong heads on the wrong body. And when they woke up, we see a different man, because Devdatta is having Kapila's body and Kapila is having Devdatta's body. Okay, now what happens? She becomes fascinated on seeing an ideal man, which she was always craving for. What is an ideal man? Ideal man means having intellect, superior intellect as well as superior body, muscular body. Now Devdatta's head and Kapila's body brings the fascination, brings the dream of Padmini become true, and she says, fabulous brain, fabulous body, fabulous Devdatta. Now here the scene ends where Devdatta and Padmini moves on to the city of Dharmapura. Both of them are very happy and spend their time happily, whereas Kapila is having a very lean, thin body of Devdatta, resigns to the forest very disappointed because he has lost Padmini. And now what happens here? Act 1 ends. Okay, now we come to the Act 2, which starts where two dolls are there who are narrating the story of what is going on in the mind of Padmini. Padmini being very happy, and she gradually becomes sad, because what happens? Devdatta again loses the charm after some time of that muscular body and becomes lean and thin as he starts his work of writing poetry, and thus he pays more attention on the affairs of the mind, so his body again becomes lean and thin and loses the charm. So Padmini again becomes depressed after some time staying with Devdatta. When once Devdatta visits a fair to bring the dolls, she moves on with the child to the forest, and there he again meets Kapila, Kapila shouts a lot on Padmini that you have spoiled my life, you have ruined my life. Now Kapila is having the body which is again muscular, because he was working hard in the forest. He has again maintained his body. Padmini is again attracted towards Kapila. She stays there and spends some time with Kapila, consoling him, and in the meantime Devdatta also visits them. Now in a fit of anger, they both now make it a point that let's have a duel, a fight, and then one who wins will stay with Padmini. Kapila at one time says to Devdatta, Devdatta and Padmini, can't we live like Draupadi and Pandavas together? We all will live together. But this point is nullified somewhere by Padmini, where she says, if I had said yes, they would be alive, but she didn't accept this. This is also a point in the play. Now what happens? They had a duel where both of them die and Padmini is left alone. When Padmini is left alone, she also makes it a point to have to become Sati. She becomes Sati. She took a bold and courageous step of becoming Sati, and which made her live in the ancient stories of the past forever, leaving the child to Bhagavata, saying that make this child live in 5 years in the forest where he develops physically, and then make him go to the his grandfather, so that he becomes intellectually superior, because still she is in search of completeness. Okay, now in this way the story ends, and Karnad himself, being an erudite writer, takes this opportunity to teaches a lesson to the human mind, that this issue of desire for completeness, which lies in the subconscious of everyone, is actually an illusionary concept. There is nothing called completeness. Okay, now we come to the subplot. The story ends where we again see Hayavadana, who has become a complete horse now, and but he's having a human voice. Now again he says, how can I call myself complete? My voice is still human. Then he sings a song. Then when he sings a song, there was a child maybe who has never laughed and never cried and never reacted to anything. On seeing Hayavadana, he starts to laugh. With the laughter of the child, Hayavadana also laughs with him, and gradually loses his human voice and starts to neigh. Bhagavata in the last says that the real beauty lies in the child's laughter. In the innocent joy of that laughter, no tragedy can touch it. In this way, Bhagavata says that God fulfills the desires of everyone, like a grandson to a grandfather, a smile to a child, and a knee to a horse. And the play here ends beautifully with a message to convey that search for completeness is an illusionary concept, and and the other things as well. Points are explained, like you will read the play and you will come to know. Okay, thank you. Have a nice day.